What's going on, guys? So our lure review this week is going to be another Ima Lures bait. This is the Ima Skimmer. The Ima Skimmer, if you're not familiar with it, is a topwater walking bait or a stick bait. Very similar to like a spook or a Sammy. So let's go ahead and take a good look at these things. All right, guys. So like I said, this is the Ima Lures Ima Skimmer. The skimmer, like I already said, is a topwater walking bait. Seems very similar to me to the Ima Flit, just in a walking style bait, just because of how slender it is. Let's go ahead and go over the specs of this bait. It has a length of 4.5 inches and a weight of 3/8 of an ounce. The 3/8 of an ounce feels a little bit heavier to me. On the package that I received these in, it actually said that they were 7/16 of an ounce. So I'm leaning more towards the 7/16 of an ounce than the 3/8, but it says 3/8. They come in with these two number 6 size owner stingers, just like the Ima Flit. They have 13 different colors. The website says 11, but if you scroll down and count up all the colors, there are 13 different colors. We've got 2 colors here. The first color I'm going to show you is a new color, color number 153. Now there's only one size in this Ima Skimmer from what I've seen, and according to the website, it's just this one. And this color number is 153. It's blueback herring. It says it's new. Blueback herring looks almost like a table rock shad. It's got the purple on the back. Looks a little darker on the camera than it actually is. Fades into this really light yellow. The camera pretty much shows that to true. And then into this white belly. You also have these 3-dimensional eyes that are very distinctive to the Ima brand. So just a little different. They also have a split ring on the front. None of the walking baits that I have came with split rings. If any of my topwater baits have a split ring on them, it's because I added them. So I don't know why they decided to add a split ring to this one, but they did. So very nice bait. You got that shad dot on it. So there it is. This is blueback herring. Next color, and we can actually see the internals on this one. This is Smoking Ghost Shad number 42. Smoking Ghost Shad has these silver lines going down. It's a transparent bait. The interesting thing about this is that it's kind of bluish purple in some lights. It almost looks like what's that color by Lucky Craft? I think it's the Ghost Blue or Blue Ghost. Kind of looks like that, like the Aurora Black, only in a ghost version of it, because it's got a real dark back on it. But it's still transparent. In fact, you can see the steel ball bearings in it. You can see where it says Ima Skimmer right there, obviously. But just an interesting color, probably good for clear water because of the transparency on it. So here is Smoking Ghost Shad. Obviously, it also has that bleeding gill there as well. Now you can see it has the etched scales on it with the raised gill plate. You've got the 2 steel ball bearings in there, and you've got the smaller one up front here, and that's it on the inside. There's really not much going on inside of this. There's no casting chambers or anything like that. One thing that I noticed about this thing, the first cast I threw it out, it was amazing how far I could cast this thing. I mean, it is like a rocket going off. I was throwing it on 12-pound tests, and it was, I was launching it. I can definitely throw it further than I can a Sammy, which was amazing because I could throw a Sammy pretty far. And I could throw it about as far as some of the jerk baits that I throw that actually have an internal weight transfer system in it. And I think that this is attributed to the weight just being in the back here. it's always in the back, so it's always going to have that centrifugal force. When you go to wind up on it and throw it out, all that weight is going to be, it's already in the back, so it's just going to carry this bait a long ways. Now this bait, it sits straight up and down inside the water, and it kind of just bobs there, kind of like a buoy. I found it a little more difficult for me to get it up on plane at first. I solved that problem just by taking the reel and giving it like a half crank to get this thing kind of going up on plane, and then getting it going on the walking pattern. Now they say this thing has a boiling thing that is very unique to this bait, that when you whip this bait around when you're walking it, I think that the butt end of this bait kind of just sits in the water, and this thing kind of whips around and causes a boiling action just underneath the surface of the water. Whereas most of the baits most of your walking baits, they will, when you pull on the front of it is going to be what causes the boiling action. Like on a Sammy, let's go and whip this Sammy out. You can see that it has that cup on it. So the cup on this one just kind of helps cause that bubbling, boiling action. On a spook, it does that anyway. Depending on how hard you really work these things, if you give it a good tug, it'll cause a nice bubble right in front of it. Now, I thought that I was noticing that personally when I was out there. I thought it was just the same old thing that was going on. But when I watched their video of it, and they have a really good video of it on their website, that it actually shows the tail of it whipping around in the water. So that was probably what I was seeing. It's really hard to see what it's doing when you cast it out, 160, 170 feet out there. So it's like I said, it casts a long way. So it's different, which is something that I look for in a lot of baits that I buy. It's different because it's very, very slender. So you can see how fat this Sammy is. I think they look like they're about the same size, actually, as far as length is concerned. I think this is the Sammy 115. Well, let me tell you. Let's see, if this has a length of 110 millimeters, then this would be the Sammy 110, right? So there you go. You can see how much skinnier this thing is. So it's just different, something different. You never know that when something like this is just barely getting bit or nipped at, and you go throw something like this out and they just start hammering it. You never know. That's why it's good to have a variety of baits out there. You don't need to. It's not a necessity. You can carry just a Super Spook Junior, or you can carry a whole gamut of stuff. It just depends on who you are, what you like. That's what's great about being a consumer, is that you can have all kinds of different stuff. So wanted to give these things a shot. Outside of these ball bearings in there's really not a whole lot to this thing. It is a Japanese lure, just like I told you last week that Ima is a Japanese lure. They're pretty proud of their stuff. So you're going to pay a little bit more. You're going to pay top dollar, but the components that you get on them, I mean, you're getting everything that you would replace right out of the box. You're not getting cheap hooks. You're getting great finishes. I mean, the finishes are fantastic. And you're getting, three-dimensional eyes and scales and stuff like that. So, and you're getting a bait that is tried and true, and it's proven and it works. So, and like for me, it's different. That's what I like about it. So, let's go ahead and do a measurement from ring to ring. It is just over 4.5 inches, and if you don't include the ring, it is just over 4 1/4. So check out the Ima Lures, Ima Skimmer. I think I'm going to do one more Ima Lure review. I think I'm going to do the Ima Rumba next week. I'm either going to do the Ima Rumba next week, or I'm going to do the Lucky Craft Kelly J. So Kelly J's it's an awesome bait. I really enjoy that one. I'm either going to do the Rumba next week or the Kelly J next week, and the following one will follow the following week. I hope that made sense. I just sounded like a moron there. Sorry. So anyway, hope you're following along. It's been a long day for me. I did a lot of fishing. My dad caught a huge fish today. Kind of pissed me off because I wish I caught it. No. Great job, Dad, if you're watching. I'm glad that you caught that fish. That was pretty cool. I'll show you guys a picture of that fish. It was pretty awesome. We caught him on a jig. I went after this bedding male, threw a jig at him like 60 or 70 different times, right on top of him, could not pick him up, and then I finally ripped his punk ass out of the water. Excuse my French, but I was so frustrated with him. I was throwing it, and I finally pulled him out of the water. It wasn't much though, and then I caught a bunch up at Lake Shasta today on a Stacy. So anyway, let me show you that picture. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for supporting. Stay tuned for the next lure review. Talk to you later. Bye.